What's up, everybody? Ethan from the Happy Pill Project. Quick reminder, if you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe button somewhere down there, possibly someplace up there. Also, if you find this video useful, make sure that you hit the like button and share it with everybody you know.
He's
Thanks,
starting
guys.
to turtle up from side control. Okay, so he's like this, and now he's starting to come up, right? Or you try to attack this arm, or whatever it may be. Or you desperately wanted to get hooks in, and you were trying to mount. You couldn't do all. There's so many different scenarios in this, why this happens. But this is how this drill is going to go. Okay, so we were looking to get into a knee pinch position, right? But he starts coming up too quick. So we start spinning to the backside, keep coming. And now I'm back here on this back quadrant, okay? There's different scenarios in how we're going to get our hooks in, okay? One of them is he's going to bottle up so quick, and now I'm sitting on this quadrant, and he bottles up tight. And I'm sitting just like this. Sometimes you're going to be able to pop him over this way. And the moment he pops over this way, I'm going to run up this way and throw this first hook in and start taking command of him. I can sit back. I don't know yet because he might come up. And as he comes up, I throw my secondary hook in on this side. Okay, come back again. But what's more realistic is I'm going to switch to the other side as he bottles up. So I'm going to have you do a couple of different scenarios on it. You're like this, and now you're spinning to the backside, and he's coming up, and now I'm here. So as he comes up, I flip to this side and break this hip down on this side. So now I do the same thing again. I throw this hook in. If you want to take a gift wrap on this, you can, but if not, he comes up, and I learn how to throw my secondary hook in. He's not giving me that secondary hook, so thank you. Right, so that's perfectly fine. If he doesn't give me a secondary hook, I go into a quarter Nelson and break him back down. But I'd like to be able to do two different variations of it for you. I come like this. Now, we went on this one. We're here. He's coming up. I'm learning how to spin. I'm on his backside right now. One we just did was I'm here and trying to figure out if I can use this secondary leg to rip and pop his hip down. But I'm also learning how to come from one side to the other. So I'm just dropping one knee and flaring the other so I can break the hip down. On the second one, when I flip to the back side, we're like this. He's coming up and I'm dropping and I'm spinning to the back side and I've come up. If I can grab hold of this Achilles tendon to my Achilles, I'll start pulling this ACL out and now kicking through and taking the back on this side. So we're going to do a drill. We're going to flip them up a whole bunch of different ways. Okay, guys, let's partner up and do it. Let's rock. If you go in a turtle like that, it's going to go bad. And even in real fighting, like I'm in a street fight, I'm going to go like this and put my hands like this. This guy's going to kick me in my face. He's going to grab, and if he knows BJJ, he's going to grab a wrist rise. It's just going to go terrible for me. I'm here coming a turtle. I should not have to use my hands. So if you should be able to stand up without using this tricep. So if I didn't put my hands on the mat, I came up. I was protecting my face, my neck, my gi. I'm not letting you get any wrist rides. I'm not letting you get underneath these because if you get into this habit of this, you already were going to get exposed anywhere on a Kimura. So he's going to take a Kimura and he's going to sit through and he's going to run you back. And it's the move that almost Bird showed last week on last Friday. Different variation, but she sat back and pulled you back. It's the same thing. So the bottom player, even though you're coming a turtle, I mean, do it right. You know, like, so if I'm like this, okay, I'm like this, and I'm starting to come to turtle, right? And this is how I should have come to turtle. I should have had this leg cocked so tight to me, and now this is my shrimping leg. This leg does not come out like this, okay? This leg shoots through the pocket and comes up like this. And now I never came towards you. That's why he's on my backside right now. I protected my face, I protected my neck. You're not grabbing my chin. You're not gonna punch me in my face. You're not gonna get a wrist ride. You're not coming underneath my elbows. I'm coming a turtle. And that's why the guy on top is sitting back here on his back quadrant because I didn't give you anything up there. Okay, guys? So let's do it again, right? You're like this. Your legs are tight because you were knee, elbow, escaping. That's what you were doing, okay? So if I'm shrimping to come to turtle because I was here pushing him away, this leg is cocked. He's knee elbow escaping from the very beginning. I didn't want to get scored on. I wanted to stand up. I'm not going to be a guy on I always tell you all, because the reason I tell you about street fighting and stuff, I'm a fan of it. I like bare knuckle fighting. I don't know if it's ruthless or not, but I do. I'm a fan of it, and I'm a fan of BJJ. I'm a fan of all the sports. But if I don't understand like why I do this and why I do that, they all attach in this scenario. So I'm like this. My legs are cocked tight to me. My ankles are really close to my glutes. As I'm shrimping out, this leg's not here. This leg is super tight, ready to shoot to the pocket. So he should be a missile coming out so that I'm up in a second on this, right? And now that guy should be coming back. Don't do it so fast that he won't even understand, because you're gonna, if you get good at that, you're gonna come so quick, he's never gonna catch you. You're gonna be sitting back on it, like it's so quick. So you can see how my leg shoots through, right? It comes through the pocket. As soon as he comes, I never come to you. He's behind me already, behind me. But let's not do it so that it's so hard for the bottom player, the top player, because it is the top player's drill. But I want to correct that. I don't want your hands all over the place. Like, I'm here protecting my neck. I'm here. You don't get underneath my armpits. You don't get any wrist rides. You don't get my collar. Let's rock. And then we're going to put this knee on the outside. We're going to transfer this head. We're going to do all these things. And I'm like this. And I'm starting to come around. And I'm starting to take this hand out. And my hand is here. Okay? And I'm trying to figure out how I can do this to get him down. So I'm gonna actually take this hand now and shoot it through and catch this ankle. So now I'm gonna drop to both of them. So now I've taken command of this shin on this side, and I'm gonna press off this back leg to drop you. Once we're here, I don't have anything yet. I gotta get command of this pocket and now slide this knee up. Really, really critical at this point. Do not lose command of the back tricep, okay? When he's fallen, you're fine. That back step, that if people that were here last week, that we did this back step here this way, I always have an out to come this way. But what I want to do is take his back. So when he fell right now, this is how we are. I come up for a second. So I just went back. So if we were here in the last class, I come behind him and I'm like this, okay? If you want, I'm fine with you covering this back leg right now, okay? I know I've told you here, but the reason I'm fine with it is because I'm sitting right here, and really the only thing he has right now is to shoulder roll. Because if he sits back on this back cap, I'm just gonna run back this way anyway, right? So I care more about this thing clearing my hand. So I'm fine with you dropping the shoulder to cover here. Now I shoot this guy through the middle, right? And I've gotten control of that far side kneecap, okay? This can be done the opposite way also. If it's done the opposite way, it's usually because you just spun around and you just went to see, because your hand was here. And as you come around this turn, we were here anyway, right? So if I was like this, and I start coming around this turn, as I'm taking this hand out, I was here anyway, coming with this hand right here anyway. So if there's an opportunity to take it through, I do. Because I'm actually wouldn't mind having that wrist if I could have it. So I'm taking my chances of trying to see where this might go. Okay, I always have the out to go the other way. Okay, so now I've taken command of this. So now as I drive him forward, right, and we land, I just told you, do not come up. Okay, because I don't want to lose command of this back tricep. So my head position doesn't stop coming through to the other side, because I don't care if you pull back, right? What's the big deal? Let's say I'm like this and I'm starting to slide forward and you start pulling back to your back. Okay, so you're going to give me mount? You know, so it's like, there's no danger in it. I also have the out on the back step this way. So I know where you're gonna go. You have nothing right now. I don't even care, I'll give you my foot. Because if you're so focused on having my foot, I just cared about beating this turn, right? So when you landed with him, you're like this, right? I just drove this off this kneecap and I landed like this. So my only focus is to keep my body weight behind this tricep. Nothing else, zero. I just want to get to height behind the deltoid. So when I first dropped, I kept my pressure, my head position here. Because you might say to me, Mike, what do you do with this hand? Who cares?
right? I would love to lace it through and take command here because then I can use, but who cares? Because I held this position, now I can use this hand, and I've never relinquished position. My face, my body, everything is behind here. So now as I slide up, this is where we are, and I'm perfectly set to sit back on him and now throw to the other side, and now I'm on the back again the other way. Most critical thing, do not relinquish position behind the tricep. We can go back the other way, right? Okay? So if anything happens, you're still in the same position. You're like this, and you're taking his hand out, and now you're starting to come behind. You're like this, and you're taking this chance, and I've collected this. And now I start driving this, and he falls. I'm not good. This is how 90% of the room, especially the people I've taught how to smash pass, from this position they'll go, and then they'll start going like this and running that way. You just took position and your kneecap was in front of these knees on the drive. Remember where I was. My kneecap on this side was on this side of the knee. This knee was on this side of the knee. So I had position in front of the kneecap to backstep it this way if I don't feel comfortable coming around the turn, or if I feel he's pulling back too much and I can't get the turn around the rear tricep. The rear deltoid. So don't stop on that, okay? If you fall funny, okay? Meaning that you fell funny and your kneecap was here and you didn't have insertion, because I really wanted my knee in front of his knees. But he falls and I'm like this. Who cares? I could just backstep this way and drop my head and go through that whole series where we punch the pocket, grab the elbow, and what's the big deal? He comes back to turtle. If he comes back to turtle, stay right there for me, stay right there. He comes back to turtle, this knee just slides out on the outside quad. I don't do this. I don't lift my hips up. I come up to turtle, this knee just slides out and I'm right here again. I've never left you. I've never disconnected from this rear tricep at all, okay? So don't square your hips up. Leg just slides out. I'll do it again if you want. I'm like this, okay? I don't do this. I don't pick myself up to come like this. He comes up to turtle, I just slide out. And I'm re-squared. I've never left the rear tricep. So it gives me an opportunity to darce again, and I have position inside that, or I can start pulling them into Olympic rolls and all other things. Okay, guys, let's partner up. Let's do it. Ah! Watch you roll, because then it just becomes like, wow, you're just like flowing off of everything they're doing with no force and strength, and it's beautiful to watch. So I know some of the patterns are like really like, they take a while to learn, and that's, I want to just explain something. So let's do two different ones now. When he falls over, I'm going to do it in slow motion. So let's say I drive him back like this, right? Boom. He falls like this, right? And I really don't have command of this pocket, right? So I could do a couple of things on this. I can maybe come here, I can come here, but I'm going to say that when he fell, he dislodges a lot. So Eighth asked me this question just a second ago. Could I butterfly this and then backstep it? Absolutely. But sometimes what's going to happen, because I'm driving into him, when he falls, he makes distance, right? So you're going to be short on that backstep to come that way. Sometimes you're going to have to read it. There's a gray area there for you. But now let's talk about something. He lands like this, right? He comes like this. He lands like this. So then I just told you when that happens, you backstep it this way. And this is where I am. And I didn't try to take something that wasn't there. I went from A to B in the safest choice for myself. So I'm going to come on this one to a darce, and then we're going to do a different one on the other side. So you're like this, and you just landed, and you just landed like this. So as he's coming up, I told you, don't square your hips up, right? I'm here nice and tight. I have head position. All I'm doing is just slide. All I'm doing, okay? My right leg is just sliding out, and I never left him, okay? So as he comes up, I just slide that leg out and make this connection. I come underneath, and I roll him, okay? So I'm going to let you do that. Everybody knows here, it's just a drill. But on the second one, I want you to marry these things together. I'm like this, right? I just came in here, I punched this. And what I tell you before, to drop this here, because he has a shoulder roll. And as I lose this hip and I start driving, he's going to shoulder roll. And I'm shoulder rolling, keep going. And as I pin this leg, I go back the other way. Okay, so that's how the drill is going to go. So everything that we've done so far was off of, hey,
I'll just have north-south. I came around. You dictated everything. All I did was give you the initiation, and then I sequenced off of whatever you gave me, right? So that's great chest, right? I come like this, so one more time. I did the same thing. I came from the north, I come around this turn, and I'm like this, right? And I'm covering him, and I'm punching his hand through, right, to see if I can get grip of that far side kneecap. So now I drop this guy, and I start driving him, but as I drive, he jumps out on me. So that'd be hard for me at this point, because I told you before that if you transfer this now, how am I getting this elbow to this? He's going to distance himself so far out this way, and I'm going to be laid here where he's going to come up on that far side shoulder and clear me on the other side. You definitely can do it, but just understand, like, what I'm aggressively driving, he doesn't want to go over. So I come this way because he landed so far that way, right? So as he lands, come back up so they can see it from here. So we'll go super slow. I punch his hand, right, and I caught position in that. And now as I land, he's landing also. I'm going, boom, I'm on this side because there's no chance for me to clear. So I'm laying really funny, but all I really wanted was to see if I could put my hand in here. So my hand and my head was really the only thing I owned. So as he comes up, I just slide out, and I'm here right away on a head and arm. Okay, so I'm going to ask you to make this connection, right? Just make the connection, come underneath, try your best to come underneath, all the way over, collect it, and finish it. And then on the second one, when you're here, right, you did everything exactly the same. You're like this, made this connection, took out, drop, and now I drop here. And he shoulder rolls on me. So I held the line, right? I'm here, and I'm going back the other way. And now I'm in a fight this way. Okay, guys, let's partner up. Let's do it. Rah!